Okay, the driver institutes for now are 5. One is at Lagos Island, just by Ojoba, Adeniji, under the Third Mainland Bridge. Just you will see it when you're on Third Mainland Bridge. That is the one for Lagos, divisional part of the state. There is one in Badagry, just before you enter Badagry, after Ijaniki, you see it to your left. There is one for Ikeja, is a Lasma Yard. It's a big complex, Oshodi. And then there is one at Ikorodu. They call it the Works Yard, Odogunyo, in Ikorodu. There's one there. And there's one at the Works Yard, Epe. So you have them spread over the states, and they have audio visuals, they have video, they have simulators, and they have certified instructors, and they test your eye testing equipment, and to do. Then the test for recertification is just 1 day, 8 hours test. But if you commit an offense, it's a different testing. But for the driver certification, it's just 1 day test, 8 hours.
Okay, Mr. Kweta, what has been the reaction of the Association of Okada Riders to these laws?
Okay, quite strange. You see, they are aware of all these legislations because we met from 2008 to 2010. We studied the situation. In 2010, we met with them for about 8 or 9 months, like almost twice a month. We crafted all the do's and don'ts together with their union leadership. And the national, we have MOAS and the ANACOA. Those are the 2 recognized unions, because you have to be a trade union is not a CAMA registration kind of thing. You have MOAS, NURTW. You have ANACOA, RITIAN. These 2 associations, which are the only 2 unions in Okada, were part of the drafting of all this. And you recall that we had a stakeholder forum August 24, 2010, and we jointly went on the road to enforce this law. So they are aware. Okay. So they have no issue. The only issue they're having is the rules that are restricted. And we have explained to them, we met with them last week, that it is for safety, it is for security, and all these rules, there are public transportation facilities available. So they have, you can get across to them. We have their buy-in on this.
Okay. And what about Danfo drivers?
Danfo drivers too. We have met with the National Union of Road Transport, the road transport. Even before
you had a meeting with them last week.
Even before the enactment of this, we'll be meeting, and we have it. And I was made to understand that yesterday, the union was on the Abeokuta Express Road and Agege Motor Road, enforcing these rules by themselves. So the issue, like you said, there are people who always choose to just do it the wrong way, and so it's a lot of engagement going on. You can see when we went to Apapa, the tankers you used to see on the road before the deadline was given, they were off. Yes, it is the union leadership who went there to tell them, we are not with you on this. We are in agreement with the government. We have told you, and they left voluntarily. Those are the tanker drivers. So we always have a lot of stakeholder engagement on most issues you see us. Come on.
One other question that is being asked from Twitter, Kinle Oluwole, is saying that, or he's asking, is there any scheduled training and retraining for LASMA officials and other enforcement officers to enable them understand what they're supposed to be implementing?
Okay.
Maybe he just joined us because he had said it earlier.
Even as yesterday, the vehicle inspection service went on were training on this law from section 1 to the last page. Yeah. Then the LASMA went on their own on the Wednesday, and the LASMA has constantly been in training and retraining, so also the vehicle inspection services. And in furtherance of this new legislation, there is also a planned 3-day workshop, for a joint workshop for all the enforcement agencies, including the police, where they will all be in one venue in a cross all together, and this law will be further explained. But by and large, the police are already undergoing their own training. LASMA is undergoing its own training. The VIU are undergoing their own training, and all other enforcement agencies are undergoing their own training.
So, Mr. Akwai, when is this law effective? Is it immediate?
No, it came into effect the day it was signed. And as I said, a lot of the provisions were already there and known, were in the old law. Now, we are not moving with the enforcement of some of the new provisions because of what we've been talking about, the training. The installation of signs, the reorientation going on, and so on. But the law is in effect.
Okay.
So you won't start arresting people until when?
Now, let me clarify that if you did something wrong, you could be arrested today.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So, saying that the law is in effect means that we are expected to comply. So, saying that we are not going out en masse to enforce does not excuse non-compliance. Does not
when will the
excuse
enforcement
breaking the law.
When will the enforcement proper begin?
Once we are done with this process, we'll be able to say, okay, from this time on, I would say within a week, we should be able to finish with the installation of signs that we're doing, publish that list of roads. We want to still get it down to the grassroots. Make sure that everybody has a list where Okadas are prohibited. We're doing that also. Circulate the gazettes even more and so on. I would allow a week for that.
Okay. Now, a little bird told me that it's not really about penalizing anybody.
No.
It's just to get people to adopt a good road culture.
Exactly. You see, when we see a piece of legislation, a law like this, I think we should focus more on what it could do for us, the way it could regulate our lives. The penalty is for that person who would know the rules and not so we shouldn't take it as if, okay, there's a penalty there and therefore that should be the focus. No. Is this law beneficial to all of us? Yes. Should we then assist, even amongst each other to make sure that we all comply? Yes. Are there benefits accruing to the society from that compliance? Yes. But if someone fails to obey, then it should be penalized, and that's why the penalties are there.
Okay, we'll have to begin to wrap up now. So let's take your final word in terms of the implementation of this law, which the Attorney General of Lagos State has just said will be over the next week. In terms of how it will be implemented, how do you guarantee that people who are enforcing are not turning out to be people who will
make it a money-making business?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Section 37. This law, like the Attorney General have said continuously, is made an attempt to take care of all this. I will read Section 37 to you. As from the commencement of this law, no officer shall demand, willfully condone, connive, abet, or receive gratification in cash or kind from any person to circumvent the provisions of this law. Subsection 2. Any officer who contravenes the provision of subsection 1 above shall be liable to summary dismissal and prosecution under the Criminal Justice Administration law. So that is what this particular law says about implementation. So we are now going through the training, retraining, and making them to understand furthermore. In addition to the civil service procedures or the public service provisions, this law also makes a provision that says you can be tried under the Criminal Justice Administration law. And I believe the Attorney General clarified that more.
Yeah, so I guess the final word from you will be every Danfo driver, bus driver should have section 37, subsection what?
Section 1 and 2.
Yeah, section 37, subsection 1 and 2. If anybody asks me for money, sorry, I'm not giving you, or else you end up in prison. What will be your final word, sir?
Yeah, and I want to stress the significance of that. You see, summary dismissal. It used to be under the regular civil service rules, you have a long drawn-out process for determining what should happen. But here it is. It's summary dismissal. And these days, it's easy to prove these things. People have camera phones. So we just need to make the enforcement officers know that they risk their job by going that way. So we anticipate a whole change
And the
of
public should
orientation,
make the complaint.
both on the part of the public and on the part of the enforcement officers.
If
All
anybody
right.
asks you for bribe to allow you commit an offense, don't give it
Section 37.
and don't commit the offense.
Section 37, subsection
1 and 2.
That's a good way to wrap it up on this segment of the show this morning. We want to say thank you very much to the Lagos State Attorney General, Mr. Adekwaye.
You're welcome.
Thanks
My
for
pleasure.
coming, and it's been a pleasure having you again on Sunrise. Mr. Kadi Okwefa, the Lagos State Commissioner for Transport.
Our regular customer.
Indeed. To make Lagos better, I call Nibaja as we hear. Thank you very much. Please don't go away. Sunrise continues in a moment. We'll just take a break now.